Hello, this is Craig, and welcome to another episode of Cruising Off Duty. We're continuing our series on sailing a catamaran in the British Virgin Islands. We've had a good time on this trip, but this episode we cover the very last day. This is where we're commiserating on the front of the boat that it's over, and we get in one last swim before motoring back to the harbor to return the boat. We then take the fast ferry from Tortola back to St. Thomas and spend one more night in a hotel there. Once we're at the hotel, we give you some thoughts on what we enjoyed about chartering a catamaran and what we would do differently if we did it again. All that coming up on this episode of Cruising Off Duty. If you haven't seen the previous episodes, I suggest you go back and watch them. There's more of a party atmosphere. This one we're a little bummed that our vacation is over. It's our last morning on the boat. We're just sitting out here on the bow having our coffee. But commiserating the end of the charter. It's windy as usual, so I don't know how well you can hear us, but are you guys sad that it's over?
Yes.
Yes.
Very sad.
Yeah.
We will miss the sea.
Yeah, for sure.
Too fast. It went too fast.
Yeah, it always does, but here's what we're at Peter Island here. There's a resort up at the top of the hill, and then these huts down here. We're thinking people spend a lot of money to come here because of how far apart these huts are.
It's very private.
Yeah. And we almost anchored in their swimming area. Because that buoy over there is the end of their swimming area. But nice looking island, not populated though. Toboggans, no phones, no.
Here. I'm going to do that too. How deep are we? How deep are we?
Yeah, like 20 feet.
About 20 feet.
Quick way to get wet. Okay, we all went for a quick swim, or most of us did anyway, and got some of the night sweats off. And now Dan's firing us up for the last time, heading back to the marina. Boo! Boo to the end of the holiday. So there's Peter Island as we leave. That's probably the only power they have on the island is those two windmills there. Okay, we're all... Janice has a headache from all the slamming and jamming. We're on our way back to our harbor. In the background there is Road Town. I don't know if you can see it. Let me zoom in. That's the other harbor. If we were at Sun Sail or one of the bigger charter companies, we'd be there, but we are not. So we were motoring further in some pretty big swells. Captain Dan's keeping us going. Colin's keeping an eye on things over there. I said, you're keeping an eye on things over there?
Oh yeah. Looking for dolphins.
Yeah, looking for dolphins. We're all sad that it's over. Yeah, check out that. House on the top of a cliff. Look at that guy. Look at that guy bouncing. Hey, he's bouncing way worse than we are. I think, unless we look like that too. There's a cat that's like literally like the whole bow comes out of the water and then he slams down. We're almost there. Some nice houses right beside the marina. So what's this marina called?
Hodges Creek Marina.
Hodges?
In Maya Cove.
In Maya Cove, okay. So at this point, Dan's just radioing the charter company to find out how we return this boat. They told us to just mill around outside the harbor until they come and pick us up in a dinghy. It was a long, boring paperwork process where they go over the boat with a fine-tooth comb trying to find any damage that you might have done, so I won't bore you with that. So after all of that, we just taxi into Tortola to catch the fast ferry, and that's where we found the best restaurant of the whole trip. Here we are at Pusser's in Road Town. And the size of these, this is a hot dog. Put it, that's half, that's the other half. He's already eaten a couple bites. Look at the size of beer battered hot dog.
Gargantuous.
She's got quesadillas. We had a really amazing burger, which I ate. Oh yeah, and they got Pusser's painkillers in an actual tin cup.
Yeah.
So, good place to come for food, and it's reasonably cheap.
By the ferry.
By the ferry, right across the street. Okay, we are on the ferry, the fast ferry again. And we learned something new this time. This time we went on the inside and it's actually really comfortable and air conditioned. As opposed to when we came on this exact same ferry on the way over, we sat on the top where it was hot and stifling.
Hot.
So we won't do that again. Look at these people, they've got this prime view over there, straight out the front. We have a view, but it, you know, salt is on everything. I'm just happy about the air conditioning. But here we're underway, so much more comfortable in here. Nice and cool, and we're flying along. Like, we knew we were flying before, but inside for some reason it feels faster because it's not as windy. You hear the actual motors, and we're just surfing along, blowing by this pirate ship. Okay, we made it from the ferry through customs pretty quick in the US Customs. And yeah, we got here with Dan and Teresa to the hotel we booked, the Lindbergh Bay Hotel and Villas. We're in the hotel part, there's a villa part that's a little more expensive, but we didn't get that. But here's a funny story. We get to the hotel and we say, we're here, we have a reservation, and they look and they go, no reservation. And then they find out that we were charged a no-show because she booked it for February 4th and 5th instead of March 4th and 5th. So she said, you didn't get the email? We charged you because you never showed up on your original day. Luckily, they had a room still available. It's got a king-size bed instead of 2 queen-size beds, which is what we originally were gonna have. And it's pretty nice. So wooden cabinets, bathroom.
Huge lit closet.
Yeah, very lit closet. And a safe, which is nice. Yeah, it looks really nice considering we didn't pay. I mean, for St. Thomas, this was considered relatively inexpensive for St. Thomas. St. Thomas is a very expensive place to get hotels, we found. But yeah, just dumb luck they still had a room because we could have been told, sorry, we're booked. And
they said they wouldn't recharge me.
Yeah, and they said,
which
well,
was very, very kind of them.
very accommodating considering
said, screw you.
She screwed it up, not them. So she pulled out her reservation. Oh no, I've reserved, here it is. And she's like, yeah, it says the 4th of February, not March. So anyways, it all worked out. Yeah. She's cute.
I'm pretty done with today.
Yeah, she wants to have a nap.
Nothing the rest of the day.
She wants to have a nap.
And go to the pool.
And go to the pool maybe. So we're done. For now. So Janice is taking me to the pool.
Making him go to the pool.
Yeah. Looks nice.
Bit of daylight.
It's down the hill towards the water.
This restaurant is here also.
If you hear plane noises in the background, that's because we are literally across the road from
across the street.
From the airport. That's neat. Little underground sheltered area.
Oh, and it's thing. Yeah, it's just
Whoa. It's a wee bit fresh. Almost a little bit colder than the ocean that we've been in, but hard to say. It might just be because we're in shade and it's not sunny and hot. So beside the pool is this little beach area if you into sitting on sand. Right beside, of course, the ocean. Caribbean. A few boats are anchored in here. Would be an awesome spot to anchor, I guess. Want to be close to things. And look at this. Checking out Janice, but I'm really checking out the houses. Check out the houses. Is there? Oh yeah. A playground by the rocks. I'm just saying there's boats anchored out here. You're okay to anchor if you wanted to take your kids to shore. There's a little beachy. There's beach all the way around. And then you could go to the playground. Look up on the hill, all these houses. Oh, just as the plane takes off. There's some bigger planes earlier. All the houses on the hill. Okay, so our trip, our charter vacation is pretty much over.
Yeah.
Sadness. So what was the favorite thing? What did you like doing?
Snorkeling.
Snorkeling.
Fishies.
Sorry?
Fishies.
Fishies. Oh. Any particular place?
Well, I mean, obviously the Monkey Point was the only good snorkeling to do.
I guess
that we saw. There were other places but we couldn't do it all. Like we had our itinerary of things we wanted to see, and you can only see so much.
Yeah. We snorkeled a couple other places, but they weren't really snorkeling places, and all you mostly saw was sand and a few fish, but nothing crazy good. Monkey Point was the best, but yeah, if we ever did this again, I think it was, we would focus more on dive locations.
Snorkeling and less on food locations.
Yeah.
Like we found the restaurants that we went to very highly priced. Like we had lunch today at the Pusser's Rum restaurant, and a humongous plate of food for like $14, and there was more food on that plate than the plate we got for $48 the other night. So
exactly.
I just not into that at all. Not fancy.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when we went to all these well-known restaurants, then got there and got disappointed only to go to a bar across the street from the ferry. That's
amazing.
Amazing.
Highly recommend the Pusser's crossing the ferry in St. Thomas.
Yeah, we went to the bitter end.
In Tortola? No, Tortola.
Yeah, Tortola. Yeah. A little disappointing. The food everywhere we went was supposed to be great, and it tasted good, but there were tiny portions, really expensive. So be prepared to be shocked.
It's just not our like, it was an experience, and we're glad we did it, because it's the place that, like the Bitter End Yacht Club and the Pirates Bay Marina, they're places that people go to, and it's a destination.
We went to Willie T's.
Iconic destination, and we did them. So next time we do this charter, we won't do them again.
Yeah, it's kind of like the bucket list of places that people always say you should go. We went to the Bitter End Yacht Club and had steak and whatnot. We went to Willie T's, that barge, and jumped off. We went to
not topless, just jumped off.
No, just jumped off. Foxy's was kind of nice.
Yeah, Foxy's was fun, and that was reasonable menu.
Soggy Dollar, I don't know what the big draw for Soggy Dollar is. It's a tiny little shack of a bar. It's just on a nice beach. It's a really, interesting beach, but the bar itself is nothing to write home about. So, the one thing we found on this whole trip is it's just always windy. And it's been very frustrating for me because obviously all my cameras have microphones that pick up the wind. I'm trying to put dead cats on them to make sure it minimizes it, but that's a problem. And then the droning. Yeah, my intention was to drone everywhere we went. Every time we stopped the boat, I was going to drone. And it just couldn't. Everywhere we went was like 25 knots of wind, gusting to 30 knots of wind, and I'm not going to land and take off from a boat in that kind of wind with my little Mavic Pro. It just gets blown around too much. Overall, a really good
I loved it.
Really good trip. Really good friends to go with. So we didn't have any problems with the people we hung out with. It's just like I say, some of the places were just a little disappointing because they were overpriced for what you're getting. The other couple that was with us had a few bucket list places they wanted to go and eat a steak dinner or whatever, so we went with them. But
I'm glad we did it one time, but we won't do it again.
If we do it again, we'll definitely just focus more on where's the best snorkeling, where's the best scuba diving and whatnot, and go for those places, because we enjoyed, I think Colin and Carolyn too enjoyed the snorkeling the most, and I think that was Monkey's Point was pretty good.
Yes.
I'm sure there's better. Anybody who's watching this who knows the area probably knows there's way better spots to snorkel than Monkey Point, but I mean, the fish were unbelievable.
Yeah.
The coral wasn't as vibrant as I've seen other places, but the fish were like
abundant.
Wow.
Right, there was a lot of variety there.
Yeah, and they were everywhere.
I saw my first puffer fish.
Yeah, I saw two. Two different puffer fish swimming around, which was kind of neat. So yeah, overall a great trip. Sad that it's over. Now we're in St. Thomas, just killing the last night before we get on our plane tomorrow, and that's why we're in a hotel right beside an airport, just so we don't have to pay for another taxi. We can just walk across the street and we're at the airport, so all good. So this is the little cannons that are at the front of our hotel. There's that one there, and there's this one here. Don't know what they're representing. Okay, we're leaving the hotel. Supposedly walking down this driveway gets us right to the entrance of the airport. We shall see. Okay, we walked from the hotel road there, and here we are. And we're lying, it's very close. Extremely close. We could have just walked out and got a safari bus. And there's the runway. It's a very tiny airport, very tiny. We got through check-in, everything's good.
And we're sitting together on all the flights.
Yes, pretty much. Except for the last one, we're 2F and 3F, so that's probably a single row. Yeah, sounds like a single row, and we're just living behind each other. So we might both have window seats.
Okay, we're 2F and 3F.
That's two different aisles, two different rows.
That's right.
She funny.
In front of each other.
She funny.
Still close.
That's close, yeah. Okay, we got on board, and like usual in the islands, you don't actually get a gangway to get on. You walk across the tarmac to get on. So, a little different. Weird thing is, again, even though Dan and Teresa and I have on different flights back to Ottawa, somehow or other they ended up in the same aisle as us. Just over there. Yeah, some of those people. Janice lied to us and said we had a window seat when we really don't. So now I'm right beside Dan. Right beside Dan. I've never seen humidity mist coming out of the vents because of air conditioning. till now. That is some cold air conditioning.
Woo! We're on the Atlanta subway from terminal, whatever we got off on, to terminal F. Yes, it's super fun.
Welcome aboard the plane
That's
train.
pretty big
Please
airport.
hold on. This train is departing.
You have to see the underground.
The next stop is for Sea Gates. C as in Charlie.
Yeah, you can walk into the wall.
Okay, here we are in the Atlanta airport. We've switched into our long sleeve sweatshirts and stuff because we get ready for cold weather. Yeah, going north. It's a nice airport, really nice. We're not where the good stuff is, like all the food courts and stuff, but it was nice. Everywhere we walked, it was like being in a mall. So it was pretty cool. And this is the plane we're about to get on. So, not a very big plane, but next flight gets us to Toronto, and then the next puddle jumper small flight goes from Toronto to Ottawa. So, while you look at this time lapse of us taking off from Atlanta heading to Toronto, let me just give you some information on what to avoid. If you're Canadian, do not take the connecting flight through Toronto. It is a nightmare. Anytime we fly back to Ottawa from any other city, we have no problems. The luggage just shows up in Ottawa and we're good to go. But not in Toronto. Getting through Canadian customs there was a nightmare. It took forever. Once we go through that fiasco, we think we can just run to our next gate and catch our connecting flight to Ottawa. But no, not in Toronto. As we're running by the luggage carousels, we see a sign that says if you have a connecting flight, don't forget to get your luggage first. And we think, that can't be for us. I mean, we aren't on a connecting flight. Our luggage is just going to show up in Ottawa, right? Well, no. We ask an airport employee and they confirm you have to take your luggage from the carousel and bring it to your next gate. Well, at least that's what he told us. So after we collect our massive amount of luggage and lug it all the way through the airport to our next gate, we get there and they say, why do you have those big luggage? You're supposed to take that to the WestJet terminal and have them put it into check-on luggage. And of course, the WestJet terminal is on the other side of the airport. Luckily, we're able-bodied, but we have to drag all this luggage back through the entire airport to WestJet where there's nobody there to help us. So we struggle with that for a while, eventually demanding a WestJet employee come and help us get this luggage booked because we're running out of time. Then we have to run back through the airport with our carry-on luggage to go through security again, which means taking off your shoes and your belt and all that stuff. And of course, my drone always gets detected and they always have to take it out and search it. It just takes forever to get through security. And the crazy thing about all of this is that if we'd come through Detroit or some other American city, we wouldn't have had to go through all of this again. We would have just gone through customs in Ottawa, our final destination, and our luggage would have been there. It would have been awesome. So needless to say, we were a little, well, let's just say a little hot under the collar after all that running around for no apparent reason. And you'll get that sense from Janice now.
Here we are. We're on the little flight from Toronto to Ottawa. We'll never go through Toronto again. I'm sure that's really avoid at all costs. And next time I think I would be willing to pay up to $200 more per person to just cross the border from Ottawa and not have to do customs at Toronto. That was a disaster. Okay, here is that Toronto.
That's the end of this episode and of our Catamaran Charter vacation. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. We have one more episode where we're going to go over all of the questions we've been asked about whether we liked this charter, this vacation, what we would do differently. We'll talk about that in the next episode. An extra special thanks to the patrons that help support this channel. Without them, I don't know if I could do it. If you'd like to help support the channel, please go to patreon.com/cruisingoffduty for more information. And until next time, this is Craig signing off, wishing you safe cruising.